If you're in the market for a new laptop right now, or you're getting AI bombed all over the place, or if you're just a techie like me, you may have heard of the term NPU lately, and you are wondering what that possibly could mean, and if you should actually care about it, really. AI laptops. Well, guess what? You've come to the right video. Enjoy as I explain what NPUs are, how they work, what is the difference between a GPU and an NPU and a CPU, and it's all gonna be tacky, but I'm gonna explain it in a simple and fun manner. I'm also going to explain how the market looks like these days to answer the question if you should actually care. Before I delve into the world of NPUs, I first feel obligated to give you a quick introduction to some basic computer components, like a CPU and a GPU. If you already know those things, you can just skip to the next chapter. And while I'm doing this, I'm also gonna exercise a bit because I need to do more of this. The thing I'm holding right here is called a CPU, or a central processing unit. Well, this is already quite an old CPU, so modern day CPUs look a bit different. You can see this as the main brain of your computer. It runs your web browser, it runs your text editor, your operating system like Android or Windows or whatever. So they are able to do very complex stuff really quickly, like actually quickly, probably like a few 100 million times per second. It also makes the subscribe button beneath this video work. But the problem is, a CPU only has a few calculating units called cores. They can calculate really quickly, but not so much at the same time. A CPU cannot really calculate that much at the same time, which is not so handy when you want to display a modern system or play your favorite video game, because then you have to do a lot of calculations at the same time, and that is where the GPU excels. So I'm gonna put that away. The GPU can be inside a CPU or separate. For example, as you can see here, this is my PC. Behind that spinning thingy is the CPU, and bit beneath it is this big thing. It says RTX. This is a graphics card in which the GPU is, and that thing makes this possible. These GPUs also have these calculating cores I was talking about, but they have like hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of them usually, which is great for showing the graphics of your favorite video game. For me, that is Super Tux Kart. I don't know if anyone is playing that. Highly recommend it. It's a free game. So if you want to have a good working computer these days, you need both of them, which usually already is the case if you can watch this video. And then the NPU. An NPU, which stands for Neural Processing Unit, works just like a CPU and a GPU. It has like a few billion of transistors. Those are these little thingies. I think I can focus it. Yeah. There it is. There's a few billion of these, but they are also known as AI accelerators, so they definitely do something special. What does that mean? Well, they are much better in doing AI tasks than the main brain of the computer, the CPU. They are very little devices that are usually shipped already within a CPU. As AI is getting more and more popular over time, it's starting to feel like you actually gonna be needing a lot of AI for email. Well, actually you don't really need AI for that. Basically, an NPU is a little device that is designed to be functioning like a human brain that works with neural connections between neurons, which is also comparable to how an AI model works, meaning they are very optimized to be doing artificial intelligence tasks, like, for example, facial recognition. They are already in use, for example, in smartphones or in laptops. Apple has been using them for a long time already in the iPhone as a neural engine, which is being used for Face ID, for example. And Intel and AMD are catching up. Which brings me to the what of the story. What are NPUs used for exactly? I think the reason you're hearing more and more about NPUs is because you're hearing more and more about the growing market of AI. Of course, I'm gonna say AI. We're talking about AI chatbots, text summarization, translation, so on and so forth. Usually something that uses a lot of data because they love to work with a lot of data. But also fun stuff like blurring the background live on a meeting. Cool filters, I guess. All these kinds of processes can make a very good use of the NPU because they use a lot of simple but a lot of matrices. I learned about linear algebra and I failed that class, so maybe I shouldn't make this video. What exactly is the difference between an NPU and a GPU? I mean, they are both amazing at doing multiple things together, parallel processing, and GPUs are already so good at running AI programs, so why bother making a distinction? Why is there a difference between the two devices?
Well, a lot has to do with efficiency and scope. A GPU is handy for all purposes like gaming, scientific research, AI, and so on and so forth. But they consume a lot of energy, which is not so handy when you are dependent on a battery. So for small devices like a phone or a laptop, it is very interesting to be using an NPU if in case you want to locally use a small AI model efficiently and quickly, because now you're also not dependent on the internet. You can simply translate something or recognize your face on your phone itself without having to wait for a server. But it is not really effective to use them for generative AI, like chatbots, which is more tough work and is destined for the GPU to do. Also, the same goes with AI training. By the way, this is a really nice environment. What is also important is latency, so how long a process takes to do. NPUs are used for real time, so it needs to be done very quickly, which is pretty important because NPUs are also used in autonomous driving or healthcare. So that is another big advantage of an NPU, low latency. So a GPU, very powerful, very scalable, but also very energy hungry and a higher latency. An NPU is small, energy efficient, has lower latency, is very handy to use for real time, for very quickly finish an AI task, and handy for local models. The NPU market. Apple is actually pretty big in it. They are providing their iPhones, iPads and Macs with a neural processing unit these days, which is nice to see. For Intel, if you would like to have an NPU, you should be looking at their Core Ultra chips. They have the Series 1 and the Series 2. Those are some new chips they just made. Their NPUs can deliver up to 48 TOPS. TOPS stands for trillion operations per second, which is a lot, but you also need, I think, at least 40 TOPS to actually be running Copilot Plus PC on your Windows system. If you want to buy an AMD, you should be looking at at least their 7000 series or 8000 series, or the new AI series of chips. For Android phones, you should just take a good look at the specifications, I guess. So, should you care? Well, if you're running a lot of local AI models on your laptop, for example, then you may want to care about it because it is quite a game changer for battery life. The same thing applies for smartphone users, but they will probably do less on their phone like a laptop, but they will still profit from it. Also, some very interesting industries that can benefit from it are, for example, autonomous driving, so automatically letting a car drive, or healthcare. So if you're into anything I just mentioned, then you may want to care. You may really want to care. However, if you already have a PC with a big GPU in it, you will probably care less because the GPU can already do what the NPU does. But there are actually Intel and AMD chips coming to PC with an NPU shipped inside them. I guess that's going to be a really nice performance boost. So yes, I think a lot of people can care about this new type of chip, but you should see if you can actually really benefit from it.
Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoy making these videos, and make sure to leave a sub, because making a video like this is quite some work. Now, NPUs are getting inside our phones, but they are also getting larger chipsets over the years. This means we also need some more space for cooling our phones. Now, that is one reason why our phones are getting larger and larger over time, but there are more reasons for that. So if you want, I made an entire video about it. You can click it right here to find out why your phone is so big nowadays, and I'll see you there.